Time to get spectacular with our vernacular. That's a good line. What's first?
LeBron's performance in a win over the Blazers last night was blank.
My word is redemptive. He had 40 points. I think he was 14 for 24 from the field. He did it without Luka, who did not play. He did it in a back-to-back on the road. His coach, J.J. Redick, said of LeBron, this is a quote, he sets a standard for how you're supposed to approach this craft, unquote. So I think this was LeBron talking to Brendan Hayward, saying, oh yeah? And saying to Brendan Hayward, they pay me to win regular season games and playoff games, not exhibition games. And by the way, the Lakers pay me, the league doesn't pay me. And I think he was also saying to Luka, this is still my team. Love having you, love working with you, but this is still my team. He's 40 years old. He's having the best year anyone that age ever had in basketball.
Amen. But Tony, he had to. It was necessary. That's my word. Because the Lakers had lost to Utah. They had lost to Charlotte, two of the four worst teams in the league. And they went to Portland, which has been a bad team, but I'm really glad for my man Chauncey Billups. Portland had won 6 straight road games. And you know, I thought the Lakers were going to lose that game last night, particularly when Luka wasn't going to play. Yeah. LeBron saved them. It was necessary because you got teams coming up on the rail, like including Sacramento, Golden State, Dallas, the Clippers, Minnesota. The Lakers can't afford, even though they're ahead of them, even though the Lakers had a fine first 2/3 of the season, they cannot afford to go into some tailspin now because they still got to figure out how Luka and LeBron are going to do this. So those two have to figure it out. That's only fair. But in the meantime, you cannot go and lose 3, 4, 5 in a row. It was necessary for LeBron to do that.
And it's a good word. I'm just saying this was also aimed at Brendan Hayward.
Good win.
It was aimed at Brendan Hayward. What's next?
The Sixers would be blank to shut down Joel Embiid.
Ooh.
My word is justified because he can't play. Yeah. He was off for a week, Mike. He came back. He played 27 minutes in a loss. He shot 3 for 9. Okay, it's not working. You know, so they would be justified in shutting him down. But it's also true that he's had stuff happen like this before. And then he gets out there and he plays a couple of good games, 3, 4 games in a row. And suddenly the Sixers are kind of sort of a threat in the playoffs. So while you can justify shutting him down, you don't have to, because this is the arc of his career.
Tony, it would be strategic too, because you're looking at a draft that is supposed to be, and Jay Billis reminded us of this last week, a really good at the top and deep. And if you're the Sixers and you are considering, apparently, shutting down Paul George, too, who's got knee issues, then you're looking at the lottery. They can't even catch the Bulls for a play-in spot. So then you're looking at that. Now, I don't know who a big is, if there's anybody out there who down the line could sort of replace even the numbers, much less the impact of Embiid. Malowach, the kid at Duke, the 7'2" kid, he doesn't seem like that now, but I don't know how the draft is going to shape out with not yet. Not with, well, Olajuwon averages like 7 and something his freshman year too, and then oops, look what happened. So you big kids take a longer time to develop. I don't know, but Tony, let me give some credit to our friend Kendrick Perkins, who I know I was sitting with a couple of different times, and he said, "Hey, this is not hard. Sit Joel Embiid, sit him down, force him to sit down. You cannot get through with this. You can't limp through with Joel Embiid doing this." And I think of a conversation that I had with Embiid in the finals last year where I hoped he didn't play in the Olympics. Not because I didn't want Embiid not to win a medal, because I did. I really like Joel Embiid. I just thought that the wear and tear of a summer, the practices and the games were going to be more than he could handle once we got to now.
Well, you were right.
Yeah.
You were prescient. That's the fun.
But the fact that Bob Bryant and Charles Barkley back-to-back birthdays. Tony, one of the great thrills of my life was meeting Bobby Orr a month or so ago. And Orr saying he loved that
More important than all this stuff is that Bob Ryan is great to talk to about anything and everything, and we love him.
But the fact that Bob Bryant and Charles Barkley back-to-back birthdays. Tony, one of the great thrills of my life was meeting Bobby Orr a month or so ago. And Orr saying he loved that Bob Ryan had his back when we got into this daily thing about Gretzky and Orr. And by the way, I hate to burst Bob's bubble, but it's clear that Orr thinks Gretzky is the greatest player of all time. I'm just saying.
Happy anniversary, Anthony Davis. On this day 9 years ago, while with the New Orleans Pelicans, Davis scored 59 points in a win over the Pistons. Davis took 34 shots. He made 24 of them. 2 for 2 from 3, 9 for 10 from the foul line. Davis is now with Dallas after being traded from the Lakers for Luka Doncic. Davis played 31 minutes in the only game he's played with the Mavericks. Scored 26 points, grabbed 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks before leaving with an adductor strain. He will be reevaluated in 2 weeks and at minimum will miss 7 more games. The other Dallas bigs, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, are also out for extended periods of time with injuries.
Tony, there's certain guys I think of, and I wish they were blessed with great health, bodies that could withstand the punishment of professional sports. The first 2 guys I think of are Chicago kids, Derrick Rose and Anthony Davis. And of course, if you're going to go expand that list, the bigs would be Anthony Davis and Bill Walton. Wouldn't we like to see what they could do if they could have been out there for like 75, 80 a year? Even greater careers.
Happy trails. Yes, happy trails to UC Irvine, dribbling out the clock while up 41 at the end of the first half. The Anteaters led the Matadors of Cal State Northridge 58-17 with seconds left when Sharel Nahum received an inbounds pass, dribbled twice, then launched a one-handed three-quarter shot, swished it. Nahum's 3 put UC Irvine up 44 at the half. I'm not sure it was necessary, but it was very fun to watch. As Wilbon always says, if you don't like it, stop it. The Anteaters went on to win the game 100-56, dropping Cal State Northridge to 4-20 on the season.
You have to feel bad for Cal State Northridge. You look up somebody's dribbling out of clock, and sometimes players don't take these shots because they don't want their shooting percentage to go down. Kudos.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's that selfish? Really?
Yes.
Let's go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
The Wemby-lit Spurs beat the Suns in Austin, Texas last night. Is that significant?
Yeah, it is for the Suns, who don't look right now, Tony, like they can even make the play in. They look like they're outside of that. The Yankees are ditching their facial hair ban for what Hal Steinbrenner is calling well-groomed beards. Make any sense?
Goes all the way back to George Steinbrenner. It's 50, 60 years ago. I sort of liked it because it was the only one. You could always have a mustache. The U.S. women's soccer team blanked Colombia 2-0. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's like the 50th straight shutout. Yes. I mean, we expect it. The Saints are reportedly hiring former Chargers head coach Brandon Staley as their defensive coordinator. Is he a good fit?
It's a bad team. I mean, Kellen Moore is a young guy and with a lot of enthusiasm. It's not a good team. Last one, men's college hoops tonight. 14th ranked Michigan State at number 12 Michigan. Who you got, Mr. Big Ten? Who you got?
Traditional Big Ten, baby. Not this California influx. I'm going with Tom Izzo and the boys to win in Ann Arbor. I am.
We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time, and I am Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Have a great weekend, knuckleheads. You can get the podcast on the app or Apple Podcasts. Tony, with James Harden's beard, according to Steinbrenner, be well
on saves.